challenge 11, construct a function object filter that accepts an object as the first parameter and a callback function as the second parameter. Object filter will return a new object. The new object will contain only the properties from the input object such that the properties value is equal to the properties keys passed into the callback. Oh man, that's like a tongue twister. So, okay, let's look at the test case and see what they give us. Let's see what the given object is, which will be cities, London, LA, Los Angeles, Paris. Okay. 213, let's look at what is given to us, right? So we have cities as the object, right, which is what we just said. City is the callback, and it'll return city thought to uppercase. So this is an arrow function, by the way. Just looking at it, it's an arrow function, and you know, all we have to do is, oh, okay. So from the looks of it, we're gonna pass in all the key values here, and if it matches we're gonna pass in all the keys, and if it matches the property value, then we'll put it into, what's the right word? We will just throw it into the new object and return that. So, for instance, LA and Los Angeles, when you capitalize, when you two uppercase, you know, for this example specifically, when you use the two uppercase method on LA, it'll just say LA, it won't say Los Angeles, so it won't match the property value, and so if it's not true, then we won't include it. And so it seems pretty simple. So the key will be used as the callbacks passed in arguments, and the evaluated results will be strictly compared to the property values of the object, and if they match, aka true, then we will place them into a new object. And so saying that, we're gonna have to declare an empty object, and so since we're not dealing with arrays, we could still access but we still gotta access the key value pairs, and I think the way to do that would be using a for in loop to access the key / value pairs. We will initialize a for in loop, and okay, we'll do that. So then, similar to like the first comment I wrote, the key will be used as the callbacks passed in argument, and then compared to the property value. I feel like I just wrote the same thing, but it's better to write more than less, I guess. Okay, so let's see. Return object, new object, and the object's going to be more specific. So the object name, and that's essentially what it will be. So let's create a constant variable and label it as capital equal to an empty object, and now we have to access the object, so we could do a for let key. Let's call it key. For let key in object, which will be this, And now let's do a checkpoint, right? If we do key, what do we see? London, LA, Paris. So these 3 key property names will be here. And let's do another checkpoint. Let's call the callback with the keys as the passed-in arguments. So you see here, these should be the value. This is the evaluated result. And now we're gonna say if it's equal to object key. Right. Let's just change the console log to if. If it's equal to it, then capital key will equal to, so once it has to be all caps, right? So okay. So we could either say this callback key, or we could have just entered this. I don't think it matters. And all we have to do is return capital. There we go. London, Paris, and yeah. Let me know if, oh man, whoever's in here, let me know if the volume is good, because I'm hearing the music a lot more. I don't want to, you know, I don't want it to be too loud, but I don't want it to be too low. I just want to make it just right. But anyways, that's challenge 11, so let's jump right into challenge 12. Alright, let's just uncomment this. Create a function. So actually, 12. After we do challenge 12, we're going to be halfway done with this whole section, which is really good because we're going on to 1 hour and 30. Way faster than way faster than yesterday, a couple days ago, actually. Challenge 12, create a function majority that accepts an array and a callback. So array is the parameter here, callbacks here. The callback will return either true or false. Majority will iterate through the array. Majority is the function label. Definition, no, function declaration. The function definition's in here. So, and perform the callback on each element until you can determine if the majority of the return values from the callback are true. If the number of true returns is equal to the number of false returns, majority should return false. So what this function is telling us is that we're going to be essentially creating some sort of storage of counting the amount of trues and false there are, because like it says in the prompt, callback will only return true or false. And so we essentially have to find a way to store and count the numbers of true and false, right? Some sort of storage. And I'm thinking, you know, declare an empty object with it, with counts, with property values already, excuse me, equal to 0, because it doesn't have to be, actually it doesn't have to be an empty object, because this whole prompt is either true or false and we're returning the majority. We could just, you know, write down object.truth. True is this, is 0, set it to 0 first and then just count it. It might be a lot easier doing that, but let's keep pseudocoding for now, right? And so we know the first argument is an array, right? So we have to use the for each method to access the elements in the array. I want to see if I'm yo. Okay, I think, is it too loud? That's better, huh? It's not too loud. Whatever. I mean, if it's too loud, I do apologize. It looks like it matches, but my volume output, so who knows. So access the elements, right? For each element, we will use that as the passed in argument for the callback function, and the evaluated result will be passed into the object. Right. Create a conditional statement in the for each to say if it is true, we will add 1, else add 1 for false. And then essentially by now our object should have some sort of count of like 3 trues, 4 false, and depending on that we're gonna create another conditional statement outside of the for loop for each, and then compare what is greater. And we're gonna look at the prop in more detail, because they do say like if it matches, it should return false even if they're the same. So yeah, so let's create so let's call it boolean, right? Let's call it const bool. Let's call it bool. I don't know if boolean's a word you can't use. Oh, is the music good? Is it too loud? Let me know. Or is it just right? Like you can hear it. It's perfect. Would you like it louder or lower? What do you think? Thank you. So yes, so we have, so thank you. So we could do bool dot true. Ouch. Anyways, let's create our object, and this is what's going to be in our object. So let's do a checkpoint, right? So let's do bool. Let's console log bool. Huh? What is this? Is odd. Is really. What is it? Is odd. Is odd. Why is it? Identifier is odd has already been declared. It's probably. So yes, it's already declared in here. So let me comment this out. And yes, get back to the broadcast. So like our object now has true as 0, false as 0, and so now what we could do is access the elements in the array. So for each function elements, right? And elements, right? And so now for each element so each element we're gonna pass in that element as the callbacks, pass an argument. So if callback, right, callback element is, what is it? If it's true, then bool dot true plus equal 1. Plus 1, I think. I think plus 1 will work. Else bool dot false equals plus 1. And so let's do another checkpoint, right? Let's see if what I'm saying is completely accurate. Oh no. Alright. I think we have to use the equal sign, plus equal. So yes, so essentially our checkpoint, when we look back at bool, we see that true is 3 and false is 2. And so now we can exit out of the for each method, and we're going to create another conditional statement, right, outside of the for each. And so what we do is, let's look at the prompt again, right? So if bool dot true, so the majority, you know, wins. But if, okay, yeah. So if bool, if true is equal to false, it should return false. So essentially, if bool is, so like to write it on one line, if bool is true is less than or equal to bool dot false, we're gonna return false. Else return true. And let's just comment this out. And if we look at line 256, 257, it gives us true and false. And look what we have, true and false. Ladies and gentlemen, that is challenge 12. So that's challenge 12. Challenge 13, 1 second. I miss you too. Challenge 13, create a function prioritize and accepts an array and a callback. The callback will return either true or false. Prioritize will iterate through the array and perform the callback on each element and return a new array where all the elements that yield a return value of true come first and the rest come second. Okay. Okay, let's so that should be the return. This should be what we're looking for. So this function declaration prioritize takes in 2 parameters, an array and a callback function, which will just be 1, and essentially any elements that are passed into callback that equals true will be pushed in first, the other will be pushed in second. And okay, that's essentially it. So any elements in the array, array that return true will be pushed into a new array first, then the last, then the after. I'm saying push, but I don't think we need to use push. Actually, I'm thinking of, so working on this problem, I think what I could do is concatenate, use concat method to concat both sep arrays and turn it into one. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. What do you guys think? Declare a new variable and assign it to an empty array. Here, what else we do? What else we do? Return. Oh, concat both arrays. Oh, let's write 2 because I want to do 2. Return concat. Return concat. Okay, so we have one array, so all we need to do is well, before I access it with the for each, access array by using a for each method. So before I do that, I mean, let's kind of out of order. So let's do it like this. So const cat1 equal to an empty one. Here, let's do this. Const con equal. So we're gonna have two empty arrays because we want to push the ones that label true into one, and the ones label false into the other. And actually, we might be able to. I mean, okay, let's solve it the way I'm thinking right now. We might have. I mean, there are so many other solutions. So we could do this. We could say, now we're gonna access the array, right? So array.for each function element, right? So checkpoint, right? We get Curb, Rick and Morty, Seinfeld, Sunny, and Friends. So right now, so we have access to all the elements in the array. So now what we're gonna do is in here we're gonna create a conditional statement because we know that in the prompt it says the callback will return either true or false. For true, false. If true, push in one array, else push in other array. And the reason I'm creating two separate arrays, empty arrays, is because we're like iterating through each element. If I only had one empty array, it would give me the same order, because no matter what, whether it's true or false, it's still pushing it into that empty array. And so yeah, it's because of that we have to do that. There might be another way where I could just like pop it, use pop or whatever, or shift or pop. That way we could actually that wouldn't work, but let's just do it the way I'm thinking, right? So if callback element is true, now I wonder, right? You know, because it's being defined, but it's also, do I have to use the strictly equal operator for this? Because I think this is considered a truthy value, if it is true, right? If the value does come true, it is considered a truthy value. And so if we do con.push element, I'm just gonna go outside and do a checkpoint, because if we could just refactor it and make it cleaner, then that would just be great. So yes, so I was correct. We don't have to put equal to true or false, because once we you know, I think I've been learning a lot about truthy and falsy values, and so this is considered truthy, right? 0 is considered falsy and other stuff too. Else cat will push element, right? So if we have cat, we have two separate arrays with one that's gonna be true and one's gonna be false. And here, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna declare a variable, right? Let concat equal to con.concat cat. And so now if we concat, we have that. Now they're all concatenated, and let's just return it, and we get Seinfeld, Sunny, Curb, Rick and Morty, and Friends. So that's one way. The more I think about using like shift or pop, the more, I mean, I'm not gonna write it down, but the more I think it won't work, because I think you still need 2 empty arrays. Challenge 14. Create a function count by that accepts an array and a callback and returns an object. Okay, we're getting an object. Count by will iterate through the array and perform the callback on each element. Each return value from the callback will be saved as the key on the object. The value associated with each key will be the number of times that particular return value was returned. So okay, so this is very similar to one of like a couple challenges ago of like you know having like a true and false count. Now we're just doing odd and even. So excuse me. So here's what we could do, right? We could let's just create a declare an empty object and not put anything in it, right? And not add any key values yet. This is just me challenging myself. See if we could do it without adding any key value pairs already. Alright. Challenge 14. Right, so we have an array as our first parameter when we pair it with the arguments that's being called, count by. It's an array, so we have to access the elements in the array by using, what am I using? A for each method? Not the for each method. Next, we will pass in each element as the passed in argument for the callback function. The evaluated results will be either odd or even, and each result will add 1 to the property value. That's essentially it. And so let's declare const counter equal to an empty one. Now we have to access the elements, so array.for each function element, and if callback, you know in problem 13 how there's like truthy and falsy? I don't think odd and even count as that. So we have to put the strictly equal operator, and essentially, I mean, we could use dot notation here. Count dot even. This might not work because it doesn't exist. Counter.odd plus 1. Yeah, see, it doesn't work because just like I knew it, because there's no, you can't just add 1 to nothing. So either we have to create, so we could do this. Here's what we could do. If counter even does not exist, let's just add odd too. does not exist. Counter even equals 0. Counter odd equals 0. Right? What did I do? And now we could write our yeah, no, writing this is kind of dumb. I could just do this. I could just do this literally, and I could just do if let's see, what was it? If callback element is equal to even or whatever, counter dot even will plus 1, else counter dot odd will plus equal 1. See, so now we get odd as 3, even as 2. I don't think the order matters. Well, let's just do the order how they asked. Gives us the same thing. I think it's because it's alphabetical order. So challenge 14 is done. Let's go to challenge 15.
Gotta stretch, yeah.
Alright, so challenge 15. Create a function group by that accepts an array and a callback and returns an object. Group by will iterate through the array and perform the callback on each element. Each returned value from the callback will be saved as a key on the object. The value associated with each key will be an array consisting of all the elements that resulted in that return value when passed into the callback. Guys, I just read that without really reading it, so forgive me because I'm gonna read it again. Create a function group by the okay, I'll read it in my head. How about that? No, I'm not gonna read it. I have to read it out loud. Technical communication. Create a function group by that accepts an array and a callback and returns an object. So our return value will be an object. The function group by will iterate through the array, okay, and perform the callback on each element. The return value from the callback will be saved as a key. The return value. The return. Wait, did it say that? The return value. Okay. Oh, okay. I gotcha. And the value associated with the key will be the array consisting of all the elements that result in the return value passed into the callback. Ooh. So we have an array as a parameter and a callback function as the other. And we know our return value will be a function. Sorry, not a function, an object. So just by saying that, we're going to declare an empty object. Okay, and we are going to initialize the for each method to access the elements in the array. Each element will be used for the callback, passed an argument. The evaluated result of it will be the key, and the array elements will be the property value. I'm spelling this wrong. Return object. So, and I want to mention that the property value is an array. Okay, so let's declare an array, empty object. So const number num equal to an empty object, and we're going to initialize it, right? So for each function element, let's see, checkpoint, we got 1.3, 2.1, 2.4, and so what we're going to do now is the num callback, right? Because the key is going to be the evaluated result of the callback with the passing arguments of each element. However, we have to, I didn't write this down, but we you know, just from working on it, declare an empty array, because we are going to be the property values will be an array, so we have to sort of push the similar decimal or numbers that equal to, you know, what am I saying? And what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna set it equal to the push yet. I'm just gonna do same dot push element. Huh. Oh. Create a conditional statement and push the evaluated results into the array. So I'm gonna say something like if callback element is equal to, so how do I so I'm gonna have to find a way to separate. Oh, okay, so if callback element is let's see, so let's try to figure this out. So if callback element matches the key, then we should push it into same, right? But how does it match if it's not there yet? Okay, so here, check this out. So let's check this out. So num callback equal, so you know, let me just play with it, right? Right, so if you see in the bottom, our keys are correct. Oh, excuse me. Our keys are correct, but we're essentially just pushing all the elements into same without any conditional statements. So we do need a conditional statement to say, like, oh, if the evaluated results equal to, you know, 1, then we'll push it there, and then if it's not, we'll push it there. So I wonder, actually, what would happen if I made same that, and if I do this, if callback equal to do I need to do a for in loop for like key and num, right? If key, then same dot push. Same dot push element. And then num key equal to same. Okay. Here, let's reset, so we could say something like, so our keys are correct, but now we have to determine how do we group them together, right? For each element. So the thing I don't want to do is like hard code, right? I feel like I could easily just like create 2 arrays and push, you know, the results like to whatever is true or false, and then I could just add that to the property values. But I want to figure out a way where I don't do that. And a way I don't have to do that is, you know, I still need an if statement, right? Let's do this. Let's do let e evaluated result equal to callback element. One, two, two. And so if we do this, I hate the insert sign. Evalue. Num. Okay. So I gotta really change much, but I'm sleepy. Alright, so we could the property value can be, okay, let's do this. Let's create an if conditional statement first. So if evaluated results because num doesn't have anything right now, right? So if num results, so the key I'm sleepy. So if num evaluated results, we could say like how do we group them? Results, and we okay. Alright, so now the property values will be an empty array. And what I'm thinking of doing now is we could do like if num if evaluated results no, it wouldn't make sense, right? So how about if I go outside of the for loop and do a for in loop for let key and num, right? If key, so now keys are the keys gonna be 1 and 2. But now well, we can't call evaluate a result anymore or element because we're outside of the scope. So should I do like a nester? I could do something like this, right? Or I have access to the keys of num. This might not work because I think I might be confusing myself. Because there's no key. It's an empty array, right? And so callback. Key. I'm just messing around here. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna solve this problem and take a small break because I am a little tired, not gonna lie. But I'm gonna solve this before and then come back. Okay, so we gotta group them. So I think what I was doing with the for each is good, right? And I might have to. Do I have to do another for loop? Yeah, I wonder how effective that is. That is when you do multiple loops in one. So like for let I equal 0, I is less than array dot length, and it'll increment by 1. So we can say if array I and callback array I equal to wow, wait, I feel like I wait, do I have to do this? I can see it working. Key. So if it's equal to key, then num key will equal. Is that how it works? Or should I have two empty arrays and just push the results into that? Wait, why did I even need to? Oh. So what I could do is check it first. Callback array I, right, is equal to key, and they're all false. It's giving me all false, and okay, so why is that? Checkpoint. Okay, so let's do a checkpoint here. Right? 1 1 1 2 2 2. Right. So key will, obviously to the length. Let's console log array I. Let's console log callback. 1 2 2 1 2 2. So let's console log the next. Oh, I see. So we have to sort of use the number method. So now we can do this. If they're equal to each other, then same push array I, and now num key will equal to same. God damn, does not work. One 3, 2.4. Oh gosh. Will it add into it? This won't work. What the heck did I just do? It kinda works. Why did it kinda work? It's kind of bizarre. Here. Let's try same. No, it wouldn't work. So if here, let's see. Yo, it's about 6 o'clock. I need to eat my dinner and spit the rock. What was that? I have no idea. God damn it. I mean, same as pushing everything that equals 2 numbers, so I think another way I could hard code this if I just do num dot why doesn't this work? So if the evaluated result of the element is equal to number I, then what? Num key will equal to I don't want to Google this or go back to. I think I could solve this. I'm pretty sure I could solve this. So let's solve it. Why don't we? So I think we're on the right path though. I think we are on the right path. What happens if... yeah, I can't do that. I think we are on the right path. Num key equal to array num key equal array. Dude, I saw this before. Why am I struggling? Guys, this is part of learning. If you don't struggle, if you don't, you know, this is all part of it. And I am down for it. It's frustrating, but I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm with it. So let me think. For each element, if dude, why couldn't I just? Do you think I could just remove this? It'll be the same. No, it wouldn't. Cause key does not exist yet. So callback, the evaluated result is equal to number key, if key 2, then array. It should push something, right? Because I mean, it's technically doing that. Else, I mean, there shouldn't be any false or else statements because they're all gonna be the same. So we just need to, how do I group them? If callback array is equal to number key, then num. Oh, what if I, instead of using key, it's the same thing. Number array. I need to find a way to add on to an array. Array I. Do I need to make another conditional? some sort of thing where like if this already exists, if it's already defined. Well, it wouldn't be I. If it's already defined, then let me bracket this. Num. What? Okay, so I actually ended up looking at my previous problem, and no, I looked at the previous solution. I admit it, and it kind of did what I was telling me not to do. That makes sense. So we do have an object, but we're gonna have two arrays. Const r1 equal to an empty one. Const r2 is equal to an empty one. But I don't know if we need. Doesn't seem like we need to. But yeah, actually, okay. Let me just array dot for each, right? Function elements. And we're going to declare a variable key, let key, and assign it to callback, which is the evaluated result, which is correct. And num, and I created a conditional statement. If num key does not exist, or is not defined, then num key will equal to element, else if it is num, this is the part that actually is tricky. Num key, oh wow, actually this is kind of smart. Oh, okay, so alright, I can explain it and I can explain myself. Okay, I'm sorry I couldn't solve it, but we access the elements, right, with for each, just like what we've been doing. And we don't have to do this, but we declare a new variable key and assign it to the evaluated results of calling the callbacks or whatever, the callback with the elements as the passed in arguments. And this conditional statement is actually pretty dang smart. And what it's doing it's saying if num, if the key does not exist yet, if the key value pair does not exist yet, we're gonna assign it to the first element, right? Just element, and we're gonna bracket it so that we know that, well, now, and so that it's an array when we bracket it, right? And so if it doesn't exist, we're just gonna add the first one. If it does exist, we're gonna, that this array that we had as a have as a property value will be this now, right? This is technically the property value, and we're gonna push the elements. And yeah, that works. Works perfect. And so concise. Wow, I did this. How did I do this? Pretty good on me. That I did it actually. Good keys. So we could 16, 17, 18, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more problems, guys. So we have 9 more problems. I might have to take a little small break and work on this in like a couple more. I don't know. Maybe I'll stop streaming and recording for a bit and continue after. Yes, let me stop recording real quick.